Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Stinson Farms. Hey, today is Wednesday, January the 8th, and we're over on Mr. Joe's, his new property that well, new to us, that we'll be cropping for 2025. And one of the fields over here was a hay field. He didn't cut the hay off of it this past year because he was getting rid of his cows, and I wanted to get in here and try to knock some of this grass and broom sage down, so I didn't have to deal with this tall grass come planting time. So we're in here knocking it down. It was 24 degrees this morning when I got in the tractor, and it's snowing. We're having some snow showers today. So to the best of my memory, this is the first time I can remember pulling a bush hog when it was snowing. But the ground's good and solid. I wanted to get in here where while the ground was pretty firm, where I wouldn't track it up. And with it being as cold as it's been the last few days, even though we got some rain recently, it's pretty solid. In here on this sod ground, it's doing good. So we're going to get this knocked down. I've got a bunch of limbs around the edge of the field that I'm going to come over and trim with my skid steer. We've got some trees that have fallen down over the last few years down here on the lower end of the field. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 of them. I got to get them cut back and pushed out of the field. Open up his end a little bit. We're getting started on crop year 25. Hope everybody had a good Christmas, had a good first of the year. I hope this year is good for everybody. 24 was a challenge in this area anyway to a lot of people. Wet real early in the spring. We had a lot of problems getting the crop out. People who had gotten seed in the ground had a lot of drowned outs and replants. We even had to do some replanting of our own. And a lot of crops was planted late, and then it turned off really dry during July and August. And we just really suffered to the worst of both, wet and dry. I know my yields last year were really down. I know other people's were too. And the prices were down and still not back to where they need to be. They have come up a little, but hopefully we can get a little bit better on both of those areas. Hopefully we'll have some good weather for good crop here in 25, and looking forward to seeing the prices rebound a little bit. I hope. I don't know if there's a lot of hope in that or not, but we'll see what comes. This field that I'm in, it's kind of rolly. It's not flat by any means, but it looks like it'll be a pretty good field. It's up here on the ridge. Should be easy to work. Should be able to get in here and work it. Shouldn't have to worry about a lot of wet ground. And this has been in a hay field for many, many years, so looking forward to see what it'll do with corn on it. I have found a few little small holes like that one in the field, but overall pretty flat, or pretty smooth. Not flat, but smooth. Like I said, it was 24 degrees this morning when we got in the tractor. I've got the heater on. I actually had to turn it off and on because it's getting too warm in here. But the little heater's doing a fine job, and I'm happy to have it. I wouldn't want to be out here on an open station this morning, or even a cab tractor with no heat. Got a couple of cows and a calf here in front of me. Mr. Joe's still got, well, I don't know if this is all that he's got or not. It probably is. But he's working on moving those. And that'll be the end of his herd. I think he had 50, 60, 70 head altogether. I don't know. When we started renting his property, and he's slowly got those moved, and he'll be out of the cow business. This is a real pretty old farm back here. Old home place. There's an old log house. Well, I started to say there's an old log house standing over there, but it's actually fallen. You can see the remains of it. The chimney standing and one wall standing, but it's an old home place, beautiful place. Trees I was talking about, a couple of them actually. The other ones are on down there, right around this end. Got a couple of sinkholes with trees grew up around them to go around, but that's nothing unusual for this part of the country. We've got those on our farm as well. Come over here and done some bush hogging. This has already been gone over. There's a spot or two I'm probably going to run back over. Make sure I got everything knocked down. There's a strip here there. Looks like he might have missed a little bit of. We're down third year in a row that we have added in new ground that's either been pasture ground or hay ground. And the last 2 years, we came in and sprayed burn down, and then we no-tilled into the sod. And we got a lot of rain after planting, and we've had trouble getting to stand, and we've had to replant. So I'm not going to go down that road this year. It may cost me a little fuel, but I'm just going to go ahead and just get it done to begin with the first time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here early. Hopefully, if we have some warm days in March, sometime in March, the end of March, I'm going to try to come in here and get burn down sprayed on this and get this grass killed back. And once it gets, once it dies down, I'm going to bring the disc in and I'm going to work all this up. And then we'll plant into that. I want to open this ground up and work it up. So maybe we won't repeat the problems we've had the last 2 years. I think maybe if we hadn't got all the rain that we got, we could have gotten by doing it the way we were doing it. But we've got a lot of rain after planting the last 2 years, and their seed rotted before they came up in this sod. So I'm just going to not even attempt that this time. Without turning this under conventionally, I do have to get rid of this grass, so I am going to spray it and try to kill this burn down, spray it burn down and try to kill this fescue and stuff back. But then I'm going to, like I said, I'll work it up and try to get a good seed bed, let the ground air out before we plant it. Overhanging limbs around the field. I'm gonna come over and cut them back with the skid steer. I gotta cut these tree tops up down here at the end of the field and get them out of the field. And I got some trimming to do on the road coming in, especially after this ice. We just had a decent little amount of ice, and we've got some tree limbs broken and some hanging over the road, and I'm gonna get them cleaned up. I've got the same situation at the farm. I noticed this morning when I was up there, we've got several cedar trees that have come over, some along the edge of the field, some in the road. We'll have to get those cut out. But for today, we're going to finish up this next couple of rounds here, and then we're going to go put everything up and head back home. But guys, thank you for hanging out. Just giving you a little update on what's going on. There's been a lot happening on the farm in the last couple of months, and we're just starting to gear up and get ready for the new year. I do have a lot of odd things I needed to have been doing and need to be doing, but I just ain't got around to it. But we'll get to them when we get to them. But guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. as always, thank you for supporting